A little backstory for you before I begin. I'm a 14-year-old boy who lives in Chicago. I'm not very active and I thought Pokémon Go would be a great way to get myself outside and doing some exercise. Oh, how wrong was I? I've been a big fan on Pokémon ever since I could remember, and my favorite Pokémon is a Blastoise, so the news of the new Pokémon Go coming out for my phone seemed like the best idea in the world. Needless to say, I downloaded it as soon as I could. The game was great and it got me outside every day for hours just walking around and exploring. I discovered new parts of my neighborhood I never even knew existed, and I even met a few other kids at Pokestops. I was walking around a strange and new part of my town which I didn't quite recognize, but I didn't care because I was racking up XP points like no tomorrow. I was looking on my map and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw a Blastoise. I actually started to run towards it and it led me to the front yard of this normal-looking house. Without thinking, I knocked on the door and this middle-aged man answered. He didn't look right, his hair was all over the place, and he had a scruffy mustache, but I was so into the game and wanting to catch the Blastoise it didn't quite click in my head. I asked the man if I could go into his backyard to catch this Blastoise, and to my surprise he said yes. When he let me inside his house he slammed his door shut and locked it. He had this creepy smile on this face and started to ask me how far away I was from home. I was starting to panic, realizing I had made the biggest mistake of my life. He told me to take a seat in this old nasty-looking chair and told me not to move. He went into his kitchen and I could hear him clinking around in his cutlery drawer and what sounded like a knife. I shot up and ran towards his door, trying my hardest to unlock it, but he seemed to have about 3 locks and a chain. I could hear him shouting, "What do you think you're doing? Get back in that chair now." I managed to open the door and run down the street as fast as I could before stopping and getting out of breath. When I got home I told my parents what happened and where it happened. They checked on this website Family Watchdog and it turned out the man was a convicted child molester. After the police got involved, it turned out this wasn't the first time he has tried doing this that week. He also used Pokémon Go and was using an item in the game called Lure Module, which brings out Pokémon in the certain area where there is a Pokestop, except it was Pokémon he was trying lure out, it was kids. This content was provided by angelotricarico.com.